Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Living with by Design with Grace Kariuki. I am so glad that you have chosen to be part of my audience, and I hope that I bring value into your life as we talk about matters relationship. My goal is to make sure that I guide you, I give you tips, I answer your questions about what can make your relationship be fulfilling and for you to be able to thrive in your life. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel and tell your friends about it. Leave comments for us. We will be glad to interact with you. Now, in the last segment, I started off by defining what cheating is in a relationship. And I do remember I talked about, one of the things I talked about is that a couple needs to sit down and identify what that means for both of them, but also for their relationship. Let me address something that really is a problem these days. Social media. I love social media. That's why I'm here, and I am able to connect with so many of you because of social media. So social media has come to make our lives more much more. It has brought a lot of value into our lives, but like anything, any technology, it can also create a lot of havoc and crisis within our lives if we do not use it appropriately. So what is happening? A lot of times, the clients that I am having with marriage issues are clients who are coming because of social media issues. So I'm hearing that my spouse is flirting. He or she has been flirting with people on Facebook or flirting with people on Instagram, liking people's pictures, and again even doing WhatsApp, using social media to do sexting and other sensual kind of behaviors with people who are not their spouses. So that is creating a lot of havoc within the family. So I want to address this issue of flirtations over social media. Now, we do know that if you are a sanguine, and you are, when I talk about sanguines are people who are very, very extremely social. They love playing around with people. They love just having a good time. They love fun. They love to make people happy, and so they in a way sometimes they have a problem creating boundaries around their relationships, and so they will hug anybody. They pat people. When they are talking, they are touching people. They love to hug and all that. And it is important to understand that sometimes when that happens, it's not happening because they are looking for a relationship. Sometimes it's happening because of their personality. Now, what they would need to do is to make sure that they create boundaries with this. Now, it only becomes a problem if they are in a relationship with a person who is much more reserved. There are people who are much more reserved. They are very clear about their personal space. So if you are married to a person who keeps telling you, I don't like the way you are with the opposite sex, I don't like the way that you flirt with people, please stop and listen. I know that for you, you may say, but I'm not interested in anything. That's just a way of talking. Well, the thing is, if you're disrespecting your spouse by having this fun with people of the opposite sex, then you need to stop in your tracks and tell yourself, I need to listen to my spouse. What is the problem? Why are they feeling the way they are feeling? What is causing them to feel so uncomfortable with my interactions with my friends or with the people of the opposite sex? Why should you do that? You do that because one of the ingredients of a healthy relationship is openness and transparency and accountability, and the person who keeps you accountable in your relationship is your spouse. So before you conclude and before you dismiss your spouse's complaints about the way that you're interacting with people of the opposite sex, it's important for you, first of all, to find out what is causing them to feel uncomfortable. Because most of the times what I hear is that my spouse is very insecure. Immediately, the other person hears that you're saying they are insecure. They go into defense mode, and you guys are not going to resolve the issue. So what you need to do is to sit back and say, okay, honey, I see that every time I flirt, and you know me, I'm a flirt, but every time I do it, you get offended. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about what are the boundaries. What are your expectations? Now, if you are the one who is offended by the flirting, you do need to ask yourself, what does this flirting do to you? So that you make sure that you do not use what I call emotional reasoning to deal with what your spouse is doing. Because emotional reasoning says that if I feel that you have an affair with this person, then it must be true. So before you get there, check yourself. Say to yourself, why is this so? Why am I feeling so offended by this? So that you can be able to identify why. Now, what will need to happen with the both of you is that, again, you will need to sit down and create boundaries. On the general, I will say this. If you are a married person, you have no business flirting with people over social media, please. Now, this flirting sometimes goes outside of the boundaries of purity. So you are sending nude pictures to each other. You are sending sexual messages to each other. You are sharing, pornographic material with each other. Please, you cannot come and tell your spouse, oh, we are just playing, there is nothing serious. That is going outside of the boundaries of a committed relationship and the purity, that the sexual purity that is supposed to be within the marriage. So it's important for you who is flirting to be very careful with what you are doing and to listen to your spouse. Your spouse is your life partner. So you should be able to listen to them so that you can create a teamwork, a partnership that will give you the kind of relationship that you want. So that is a clear indication of cheating if you are sharing that material. But also, if you are the person who is thinking that your spouse is just making a big deal of something, you need to ask yourself, if I was in their shoes, if I was the one and she sends or he sends a suggestive sexual message to another person or to another individual, how would I feel? Would I feel hurt? Would I feel offended? So that you can have empathy empathy over where they are coming from. It's very important for us to learn how to walk in each other's shoes so that we can support one another and we can be there for one another, because that's why we get married. We get married for companionship, for partnership, and for support. Thank you again for sharing this time with me. Please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment or a message, a question. We'll be glad to interact with you. And until I talk to you again, we will continue with this topic of infidelity. And in the next time, we are going to be talking more about how to deal with that. If you have an infidelity issue in your marriage, what you need to do and the steps to take towards either saving your marriage or the other options that you may have. God bless you and have a great day, and I shall see you again on another segment of Live by Design with Grace Kariuki.